tell us about the relationship between Israel and Saudi Arabia in regards to Syria?
Well, this is a fascinating element of what's coming out in the last several months, the last year or so in the Middle East. Saudi Arabia and Israel have been traditional enemies. In many cases, the Israelis considered the Saudis one of their principal adversaries in the region, representing a rather radical form of Islam, a very conservative Sunni, the Wahhabi religion. So, but over the last year or so, last several months, most explicitly, the Saudis and the Israelis have increasingly seen their interest aligning. The Saudis also see Iran as their principal geopolitical threat. They're very concerned about the so-called Shiite crescent going from Iran through Iraq and Syria to parts of Lebanon. And that's exactly the same view that the Israelis have. These two countries, which represent fairly different interests but have some interests in common, are now seeing an opportunity to collaborate more and more. We saw this also in the case of Egypt when the Morsi government, the Muslim Brotherhood government, was overthrown in a coup. Again, it was the Saudis providing the money to help the generals in Egypt survive and to maintain control. And it was the Israelis who were using their political influence in Washington to keep the Obama administration from declaring the coup a coup, which would have cut off American support. So you're seeing in a variety of ways now the Israelis and the Saudis collaborating. And I'm told that at an intelligence level, perhaps not on a formal government-to-government level, but at an intelligence level, this is now becoming not just implicit, but more explicit, that the two sides are seeing that they do have common interests and are willing to work together. It's significant to note that the new head of Saudi intelligence is Prince Bandar, who is a very sophisticated political player who had been the longtime ambassador to the United States. So he understands in a more sophisticated way how Saudi interests and Israeli interests can work together, be complementary.